Hey everybody, welcome to Forge Narrative. This is our Monday night webcast. Back in the saddle is the unofficial co-host, is Kenny Boucher.
What up, pimps?
We got Rob Bear in the house.
Yo, yo.
And Mark Parker joining us from Florida.
Thanks for having me.
Yo, dude. Thanks for staying up late. I know this is past your bedtime.
It happened once.
I know this is literally past your bedtime because you have gone to sleep on the air.
He asked if you edited that out, Paul.
I did edit it out, but I could not talk about it. So
Yeah, first of all, it can't go unknown to at least some people.
Yeah, it's real. What I want to know is, looking at Mark's background right now, Mark, how do you get to the refrigerator? It looks like there's a desk in front of it.
Look, he's always working.
It's right there.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
what you see is a shelf filled with kids' toys.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe cat toys.
Oh, hey, well, thank you everybody for joining us here in the comments. We're going to run down some what's ups here in a little bit. I want to talk about how's everybody's weekend been. I mean, this has been a long weekend for me. I thankfully got the day off, so I'm happy about that. I did some modeling. I started working on our display base for the Adepticon Teen Tournament. Looking forward to that. Did some painting on stuff for the singles list, and maybe if you got to play a ringer list at the seasonal, have some figures on hand.
Oh yeah.
I need to run some wave serpents. You got me.
Yeah, I painted 6 wave serpents this weekend for my singles list.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't, right?
I mean,
I thought that was for the rental service you have going on.
yeah,
yeah. Let's see. Anybody want to rent some wave serpents? Please contact me privately. I will be happy to hook you up for it.
Anonymous on my end.
Yeah.
Nobody can.
I got like 30 scouts on my painting table right now.
Scouts have been a lot more useful lately than they have been in previous editions.
They are useful. They've got a variety of weapon options, and the storm cannot be overlooked as far as like rules and effectiveness goes.
Man, yeah, when Objective Secure became a thing and it was extended to dedicated transports, man, the storm got so good. And additionally, like you said, it has a billion special rules, man. Like, it's good.
Man, let me say, OPSEC, Objective Secured, we've talked about it. We've debated whether or not the effectiveness was awesome. I mean, I believe it's awesome, and I've always told you, or at least my opinion, you guys, that it will win you games.
Dude, literally, when one line speeder can be 33 inches away from an objective and still score it, like on the bottom of turn whatever, it doesn't matter what you have there, it's going to at least contest it. That is.
Plus, too, it's like what's inside is protected. So if they blow up the speeder, you still got dudes that bounce out that are OPSEC, as well.
Truth.
Yep. And situation like, I mean, I wasn't using speeder storms. I was playing against the Demon with Fate Weaver, Great Unclean One, all the basically the list that we know and love. It's an awesome list. Playing this against a guy who rolls. I'm playing Knights. For fair disclosure, I'm playing Atlants. I felt dirty doing it, but what I wanted to play I didn't get done in time, so I used some Knights. Pictures up on the Facebook that was kind of cool to run around with. The Demon player rolls up the exact gifts, every single Armorbane Fleshbane gift, every single
Iron Arm Fleshbane.
Yep, Iron Arm, every single Lance, every single Melta available to him, invisibility, basically the whole how you beat Adlance rolled up perfectly.
Yeah.
All right. I did not have any Knights left by the end of round 3.
Man, I can't tell you how many times I play against EJ like that, and he's the guy who dropped that tech on me that first time when he was like, well, if you take the greater gift, the lesser gift, and you have Armorbane, Fleshbane, and Iron Arm, you have 7 strength 10 attacks.
And you're like toughness 10 and that kind of stuff.
I mean, like straight up. If you come in with 7 strength 10 Armorbane attacks, you're pretty much gonna kill it.
For full disclosure, I still won the primary. So play the mission. Whatever that mission is, you play it.
Play it hard.
No matter if you're playing 1,000 points down by the end of round 3.
Man, if you can get 30 scouts on some objectives, like we were saying, full circle.
It wasn't scouts. It was Yark and a conscript squad running across the table and some veterans in a Chimera. Won me that game. Or won't be the primary anyway.
Oh man, look at the old Q&A is filling up. I'm feeling.
Let me run down and give a quick what's up to everybody. Ben Hopper, man, thanks for joining us from Scotland. Staying up super late, 3 a.m. over there.
Wow.
Chris Gardner, thanks for coming in from Canada, if I'm not mistaken. Coach,
Gardner,
good to see you. Got some guys checking in from Facing the Great Tide. Always good to see you, Chandler. Michael Horner, says Kenny got some awesome videos. We'll talk about that coming up. Outrider John, Jack West, Sean Bailey, Chris Morgan, William Reynolds. What's going on, man? Bill Costello, Justin Troop coming in. Fallen Cipher. Speaking of which, saw him over the weekend at this tournament. He can corroborate my story. Sean Bailey, Aaron Shear, Steve Booley, man, thank you guys and anybody else who's watching that hadn't chimed in yet. Thank y'all very much for joining us. It's a Monday.
Coach. Don't forget
No,
Coach.
I said Coach.
Oh, did you? All right.
I will never forget Coach.
Just checking. Props.
Thanks for keeping me honest.
I'm trying.
Kenny, man, I'm gonna try that technique you got on your page about the horrors. You painted them blue. I'm gonna try green. With similar technique.
You trying to make Slimer?
Yeah, well, I mean,
they're basically the unofficial Slimer model anyway. Big old
Slimer with legs.
So green will work. Hit him with that super bright green. Is what you thinking?
I gotta get. Is that the P3 right?
That's the P3. That's the P3 combo. That's the Iosin green and the Necrotite green, and Flash gets yellow.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this video to get that recipe because I mean all my demons, they're all Nurgle based and everything's kind of slimy and goopy. So I'm gonna look forward to trying that. So anyway, check that video.
That was a tough video to do, man. Doing it in real time, live, while actually trying to paint. That was a new experience for me. That will be the first and last attempt at it.
Well, I think what you're doing though is you're showing people that painting a whole army, it takes a long time. I mean, you can do it quickly, and all these techniques can save you time, but you have to go through the whole process to make it look good.
Yes,
being a commission painter, you definitely have to come up with some techniques to save some time in there. Otherwise, you just get bogged down in the details. And,
But it helps the hobbyist too, man. It helps the guy who's like, I have an hour after dinner before I got to go to bed and go to work the next day. So how do I make the most out of this hour?
Truth, and that's actually a really good point. Like one of the things I talk about all the time is when you get an airbrush, you save a lot of time in the beginning, right? Save 3 hours on just base coats. The mistake a lot of people make is they save that 3 hours and they never put it back into something. What I'm trying to tell people is like save that 3 hours so you can spend that 3 hours on tightening up the details in the back end. So you spend in the same amount of time, you've done more, not you've saved 3 hours and you have a half-assed looking army.
Yeah, even if you put that extra bit of time into just highlighting the leather pouches or whatever, that stuff, it matters. It pops out.
At the very least, it matters to you, and that's ultimately the thing that matters most.
That's fair. That's fair also. So Coach is saying he's getting his Necrons ready for the new Codex. Hope you got them on 32 mils. That's what they're all those. Now, what's the rhyme or reason? Because if I could put scouts on 32 mils, I need to know right now.
Yeah, seriously.
We still haven't seen any indication either way.
Yeah.
If I could put Eldar Guardians on 32 mil bases, I need to know to right now.
Yeah. Also true. Because customer service is basically being like willy nilly, but like whatever you'd like. We can't tell where it's going to go, so do whatever you feel like you need to do.
Do whatever you need to do that costs me money. We don't care.
Green Tide on 32?
Oh,
really?
My goodness.
Yeah, that takes up a lot of space.
Chandler's asking if you pre-registered through us for the seasonal, do you have to register on Atomic Empire? The answer is no. You do not need to register and of course pay twice unless you just want to. But no, you do not have to. Well, that's a good question. If you pre-registered through us, you are automatically, of course, cool to come to the seasonal that we're hosting.
Truth.
Which is going to be an awesome time. I actually got 3 more people confirmed today, or yesterday at least, coming up. So we might going to have some Atlanta versus North Carolina, some bounties delivered. Of course, casually, nothing that affects the scope of the tournament.
You heard it here officially. Mark Parker has given us his word that he's going to make it. So.
I heard that too.
I can make the next one.
That's where it's at, man. Why? I mean, you don't have to learn any rules that aren't in the rule book.
Yeah. And don't forget, you can bribe us judges with beer.
You cannot bribe judges with beer.
Okay, wine coolers.
Wine coolers on the other hand.
Zima and wine cooler all day.
Not a Zima.
I already checked. They don't sell Zima. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Oh man. So my weekend was video editing and catching up. Actually finishing those Blue Wars because I got so behind on trying to film myself do them. Trying to get into my rhythm doing this YouTube thing and additionally doing my actual job. So
It's tough, right?
man, it's not as easy as I thought it was, but it is fun and I do enjoy it, and I feel like I'm contributing, so I'm gonna keep it up, and thanks to all the people who actually watch the show, listen to the podcast, and additionally have subscribed to my channel. You guys are true ultimate pimps, and I love you guys.
Awesome.
Incognito Costume and Prop says, what's up? Melissa Brown says, hey, good to see you all checking in.
It's got to be super late there in England.
Troy Caduff, I'm digging those memes and stuff you've been posting. Very funny.
He's got the best memes.
Yeah.
He does.
I spent the weekend looking, trying to find as many winning photos of armies as I can find to try to match them up against my own, get the brain churning because I want to bring the boot to Vegas. I'm excited. The green tide boot.
That's a lot of boots.
Where it's at.
That's a lot of boots.
It's just difficult to get through all that stuff. I mean, you can snipe people, but it's our characters to make get rid of the fearless stuff or whatever. But it's not easy. It's not gonna be easy.
Dude, it's not. It's definitely a good list. It's especially. I mean, I don't know what I was gonna say after. Especially, it's a super solid list. And just like any convention, any tournament, you have to be aware of the environment. Like Mark was saying, he's looking at the other armies, the recent champions. He's looking at the format. He's really trying to maximize success. So that is all you can ever do.
Yep. Chris Morgan said he just burned through Talon of Horus. I want to read that. I have not read that yet. It's on my list to do. I really want to, because it takes place right after the Battle of Terra. That whole story about that was in like it's like a page and a half in some of the old Slaves of Darkness books, where Abaddon goes around and like finds out people are. I don't know what the story of Talon Horus is, where Abaddon tries to pick up the pieces after the defeat at Terra.
What's Terra?
that is Earth.
It's Italian for Earth.
Yep. Just making sure. I thought it was something like that.
I did a little reading over the weekend.
What's that?
The new Thankful book came out. It's dark. It's super dark.
Oh, they just like still wholesaling killing people?
Oh man, so many people.
Or are they out of people to kill?
I think they might be soon. They definitely might be. They launched the rats built a rocket and shot it at the Chaos Moon because there's like 2 moons in the fantasy world, and they shot it at the Chaos Moon and like blew it up. And then like pieces are coming down and the lizardmen are like, yo, we out. But like some of them stayed behind and tried to like redirect it some, and like Lord Croak, supposedly couldn't die. Well, he's dead. Spoiler alert, sorry. But
way to go, ruin fantasy for everyone.
The next thing you're gonna tell me is that Dumbledore died. I mean, like, what are you doing?
Dude, Lord Croak, his name is Croak. Like, come on, he's dead. We all knew he was gonna.
Because he's a frog. That's why his name is Croak. Because he's a frog.
He croaks. He doesn't. Yeah. Come on, man.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. Well, he's dead. Whatever. But yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. It
is fantasy. I don't think anyone even knows what you're talking about. So.
Wow. I don't even know what to say right now.
Hey, dude, those new rat ogres will make some awesome Forge Fiends.
Yeah, they look amazing, dude. And they come with the close combat weapons. They come with like the shooty weapons. They kind of look like a cross between like Chaos Rat.
Dude, they have assault cannon for arms and an assault cannon on their belt buckle. They're gonna make perfect Forge Fiends.
Dude, they're only $62 for 3, which you say that, but it's like that's actually good for GW prices in my opinion.
For that kind of model, it's a big model.
It's a.
Completely agree.
How many dollar bills did you say it was?
62 retail.
Man, that's $1 billion.
It's a lot, but I think it's a good.
Arcana Chaos sent some missions in for us to review. It is definitely on the list to review. Battlecast, very slim to none, only because we're so strapped for time. This is basically the beginning of our tournament season. So this is when we are basically spend all the time in the B laboratory, getting our armies ready, painting armies, getting display bases ready, planning our Adepticon team tournament, planning our singles tournaments for the first couple of quarters of the year, getting ready for our seasonal, getting ready for the ATC. and then doing this webcast and podcast, that eats up a ton of time. So doing a additional battlecast and stuff that's kind of outside of everything I just talked about, unfortunately, there's not enough hours in the day.
Speaking of playtesting, I got in some solid games this weekend with Ender. Using that super shield wall, Blood Angel shield wall, where everybody just kind of locked their storm shields and marched to the center of the table and tried to make everything bounce off them.
Did that work?
It did. For the most part, it's a pretty solid list. I mean, it's super funny.
You talk about that list we made for Adepticon with a CAD, an ally, Company of the Great Wolf, and Inquisitorial Detachment, and
Inquisitorial Detachment. It's so silly the amount of stuff in there. It's so good, and there's so many special rules. You're like, wait, hold on, give me a second. Okay, this, and then you're like,
it's a different thing every turn. Yeah, you've got Ultramarines in there, you've got Blood Angels in there, you've got Space Wolves in there, you've got Inquisitors in there, you've got Grey Knights in there. It's a fun list for the format, and it's like we were saying earlier. Like, it might not be the best list for the People's Mission packet, but it's good for the Adepticon mission packet. So.
Yeah, and you got to play to the event. I mean, you have to take a list that is capable of competing in whatever event you're going to. And while we have a style of play we prefer, it may not always be appropriate for every event.
Right, and this kind of definitely caters to taking objectives. But the one thing I noticed too was that objectives is only two of the roles. It's like basically, I want to say there's 36 possible things in Maelstrom, and I want to say that actually taking objective numbers is 12 of them. I want to say I could be off by like 3 or 6 there, but it's lower than half. I feel like. So the first game I kept getting objectives and I was on them and I was holding them down. Like I said, just walk to the middle, holding down objectives. But then the second game it was like, run 3 units, and I'm like, no. Or
I refuse, sir.
Yes, no, I'm not getting this. Assault 3 units, and I'm like, well, I have this big unit in the table, and I'm not going to assault with these little scouts on the flanks. So it was like it started to become silly stuff that I couldn't quite do yet, So you have to. Yeah, you have to make sure that you still have enough stuff positioned around to still do these other 18 to 20, 24 things that you might roll.
That's a good point.
Good tech.
Chris Gardner says that he was playing Eldar versus his Grey Knights as his shunt list, and I assume that means with putting a bunch of big dudes in there in the face.
I'm hoping by shunt list he means 6 Dread Knights.
I hope so. Said he was doing great until his librarian blew his own head off.
No. Yeah, actually, I think we talked about that. 2K, you can do 6 Dread Knights and like 20 Terminators and 2 librarians.
Yeah, that's very strong. And Dread Knights are real strong too. I mean, they get.
Oh, Dread Knights got so good. I mean, goodness.
I'm liking them. Especially with a good complement of weapons and being able to get in there.
70 points cheaper than they used to be.
Yeah, you can get bold. You can get really bold with them.
And now they have built-in sanctuary, so if they need it, they have 4+ models all by themselves.
Yep.
I've had some hard times with Grey Knight lists with the teleporting around and everything. It's really annoying.
Outrider John wants to know how common do we think Tyrannocytes will be in the coming tournament season?
Which one is
that? Our mid guy is not here, so
let's say I don't know which bug that is. You're gonna have to send me.
That's the pod one.
Please ask your question again next week.
The Magic 8-Ball says, "Ask again later."
That's right. Ask again later.
Did anybody look to see if the Necron, if Adepticon FAQ'd if you could do the Russian nesting doll thing with the Tyrannocytes?
I'm gonna just not say they said you can do it.
Yeah, it's a pretty open FAQ, which I think we're going to use that at least the Codex stuff for the seasonal, or at least as a reference if we don't use it as a whole thing. Not the rules part, just the Codex part. I think some of the rules.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the more and more I think about it, the more I think that some of the rulings are just not competitive enough for our taste.
Not the rules, not the stuff in the rule book.
Not the rule book. I'm talking like main rule book FAQs. A little too casual. Like, we like to be casual, but like when I say casual, I mean we like to be social. I still want to play the competitive game that we love.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to discredit the sheer amount of work that went into producing that document. It is a great document. I think some of that stuff in there is a little bit of the basically kind of fan service, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that the codex facts are basically spot on, and there's not a whole lot of interpretation. It's supposedly just kind of restating what is actually there, just with better English or American English. I don't want to say better.
real English. Me speak pretty one day.
I have the answer to my own question. So it says gargantuan/flying gargantuan creatures may not be transported by a tyrannocyte. Nor may a tyrannocyte transport another tyrannocyte. Oh
no.
Good. Yeah, that was so awesome, though.
Yeah, good on them. Good on them.
The old one drop pod comes down and 8 billion come out of it.
Like, what is? I saw a guy do that. I literally saw a guy do that straight faced on the table. Like,
straight faced, like yep.
Straight faced. Like that's how it works.
No, literally, this is the rule. You're stupid if you don't think these are the rules.
This is obviously the intent here.
Literally never gonna get a game in this store again, dog.
That is awesome. Ultra Raider said he's breaking out the Fire Raptor for the Blood Angels. That's such a good looking.
Fire Raptor is a beast, man. It's a beast of a vehicle.
I got a question. Are you arming it with the autocannons or the heavy bolters? I saw a guy running it this weekend that had the heavy bolters on there and said he was quite pleased with the heavy bolters performance. So I'm curious.
It's good. Let us know how you guys are running them. I mean, I've never run one, but I've always gotten shot by them, and I've been happy with how many.
Well, they look cool. Yeah, it's like I haven't worked one into a list yet either, but they look cool enough to at least play with, I think.
Like, luckily, I've never failed the 3+7 in my life, so I didn't have to worry about getting shot at by it. But
yep. Varing 404 says coming in from Canada. We got a lot of Canada guys.
I was about to say, there's a lot of Canadians out there from the Great Canada.
There must not be much going on. It must be cold.
Is it cold out in Alberta?
It must be.
Are they frozen in like a frozen tundra?
Nice. Dude, it's been cold on the East Coast. I knew that.
Yeah, it finally warmed up a little bit today. I went out there with just a t-shirt.
I'll tell you what kind of mistakes I made today. When I woke up at 2 p.m. to go to the studio, it was shorts weather.
Yeah.
So I, at 2 p.m., put my shorts on and walked over to my studio to do some painting. And then when I walked home, like 2 hours ago before we did this, it was no longer shorts weather in North Carolina. Mistakes have been made. had to walk a couple blocks.
That's right. You got to learn how the weather works over here. I've been here all that long. Joseph D is asking what we think of the ETC missions. I haven't read them for this year. I think that they probably. I mean, it's obviously a competitive event. So I have faith in their mission design.
I won't lie. We probably would know a little bit more about it if we were invited.
They considered you take, let's just say, a different set of players that like to treat it more of as a club than an actual competitive event. That's just is what it is.
Yeah, I would definitely be all about those rules.
I will say that right now, you guys are watching the most winningest competitive team in the country is us. In America is us.
What's in the
or evil us's?
It's just us with mustaches, but
I keep
us.
Word.
Blonde mustaches.
Yes, I was like mine. You won't be able to see, but it'll be there. I swear.
I'd like to join the Legion of Doom.
Okay.
You're an honorary member of. Yeah. I mean, we got a special handicap spot for you up at the front.
Wow.
No.
I'm just glad they're not picking on me anymore, Mark. Thanks for coming on the show.
It's funny because Mark has been here since the beginning, but now he has to put in his dues.
Yeah, we all have our place, Mark.
Getting the punches. Melissa Brown's saying that she's painting some demons up while she's listening. I met a guy at this tournament over the weekend who said he actually didn't come up until the end of the tournament. He's like, hey guys, and he won best painted. That's where I'm going with the story. He's like, I listened to the podcast and the replay of the live cast while I paint. Nice. That's cool.
Very cool. I'm glad to know that somebody gets something out of this. Thank you.
Yep. Ultrator says run the heavy bolters. That's a lot of shots. I guess my instinct would have been to go with autocannons, but it's nice to see the heavy bolters holding it down.
I want to just a couple people who continue to mention the YouTube channel. that who are all hit me up with thank you for putting on the channel. I just want to hit you guys with a universal thank you for watching. that part matters more than me making the channel. Because if no one watches what I do, then the word doesn't get out.
Hey, look, I'm gonna paint some green horrors based on your recipe.
I literally wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to paint if I couldn't call up Kenny and be like, "Yo, this is what I'm doing. What colors do I use? Tell me now."
Yeah, that happened today while I was drinking a couple of 40s in the beer aisle at the Kroger. Forgot.
I knew you were shopping. I could tell you were in a grocery store.
I forgot I can't drink them before I buy them. And he's all like, "Yo, what kind of blue should I use?" And I was like, "Hold on a second, wait, blue?" I told him.
And Lou, good to see you guys. I missed y'all on the initial pass. Thanks for joining us. Hope y'all having a good night.
Yes, Lou. Thank you. Good old coach talking about drop assault. Does he mean drop hot assault?
Oh no, it's a video game. I think it's a video game that just came out.
Oh, is that the new one? That's the Horus Drop Assault or something like that?
I think.
I don't know what it is, but I want to play it. So do not tell me anything else about it, or I will start playing it, and then my YouTube channel will collapse.
So it's now
Can't get involved in any MMOs or.
Is this a good time or a bad time to tell you that they're remaking Battlefleet Gothic into an RTS?
Man, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, did you see those screenshots? Wow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that big time.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that the technology is caught up and GW's being real smart with their licensing and putting the stuff out there and letting people make it.
Well, they had that proven game that they had already come out with, the guys from and now I forgot it, but I remember checking it out. It was a good game. It did well. So I think they're just gonna reskin it and kind of do it a little bit different and put it back out. And it looks dope.
It does look
it's a tablet game, right? Is it a tablet game also, or is it a PC game?
No, I think it was both PC.
Sure.
Justin Troop, getting off his rocker over here, talking about Terminators might be too expensive. 10 Terminators with Storm Shields and Thunderhammers. They're not too expensive when. Like, the second you put a Sanguinary Priest in there and give him hit and run, you can't put a price on that.
Man, I played against Fallen Cypher this weekend, and he had about 7-8 Terminators on the board, and same thing happened. It's like for the first 2 rounds of the game, they didn't fail a single save, and I'm sweating it because I'm pouring in everything I got into those Terminators, and they are failing no saves.
Yeah, so that's.
Here's the special rules: weapon skill 5, 2 up and vulnerable. Feel no pain. Scout.
Yeah, this is the way Rob plays it. The way Rob plays it when he uses that unit, he gets the scout. They hit and run with only a couple of psychic rolls. He gets 2+ invulnerables. They have feel no pain. They have strength 10 with only a couple of rolls. I mean, there's so many ways to augment that. So like I would tell Justin, I was just teasing you before, but don't look at them as just like what they are. There's a million things you can do.
They're the base.
When you play the 7th edition 40K the way it's meant to be played, with all the Battle Brothers, all the detachments, there are all sorts of things you can do to really just be able to slingshot that unit into people's faces, take over the table with board control. I mean, you can make them strength 10 with Hammerhand and just crush things. I mean, they can be when utilized properly, but it does take practice. That's why we play tests.
Yeah, right off the bat too. You got rag grenades on the Inquisitor, so they're instant death in most stuff that's toughness 5 as well.
Basically,
that's good to know.
Get 1 billion special rules attached to that unit, and you will figure out a way to kill anything.
But do it respectable. Like don't join independent characters to monstrous creatures. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah. First of all, don't take a bunch of wave servants.
Yeah, it's acceptable to do this with Space Marines.
Yeah, Codex Imperial offers so many options for add-on. I mean, I was playing with Terminators and Celestian the other day for hit and run.
Say, Celestine, did you also have the guy that gives them the reroll saves book?
Oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
The priest or whatever.
Yes, I did.
That's one of the best things about Sisters. You take the Saint. She's the cheapest thing that gives hit and run to Terminators, and then you also unlocks, even just as an ally, unlocks the priest with the Book of St. Lucius, I think.
Yep.
And now you're just saying in close combat, I reroll invulnerables and saves the end. I mean, that is a potentially disastrous even just 5 Terminators with that guy in a Storm Raven with this, moving around a table, linking up with a Saint at some point is ruinous.
I completely agree.
That's a good point.
Alterator said he would like some advice. He said, "Can we discuss the pros and cons of 5-man Blood Angel Tax Squad versus 10 mans, and then rhinos versus drop pods.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I think if you're taking a 5-man squad, you probably just need to be taking scouts.
Or submarines.
Yeah, but he's asking specifically about TAC Marines.
Oh, so it's a troop choice. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, as a troop choice, I think if you're going 10-man, then I'm kind of jury's out. I think we might be split on rhinos versus drop pods. I'm going to say right now that pods, but it's more of you have to build around the pod. So if you're not wanting to build a pod list, like specifically pod list, you want to run.
I agree with this. I agree with that statement. 100%. They both have, I'm in love with the heavy flamer, melt-a-gun, situation. I mean, put it in a drop pod if that's the theme of the army. Put it in a rhino if that's the theme of the army. They both are utilized. If you're trying to play, if you have 3 assault squads and drop pods, then might as well keep the trend going and keep putting these tactical marine squads and drop pods.
Yeah, but do you think that if you just got like 2 drop pods and they're just in your TAC Marines, you're probably better off with a rhino? Do you feel that way?
I like the pods a lot because with all these Maelstrom missions, you got all these objectives you're dropping in that pod. It's objective secured, and you got the bubble wrap of the Marines there, and you can combat squad. They can be running all over, standing there. It really dominates one of the things to get points off of.
Well said.
Yeah, too.
Well said, sir. That is a great point. So, I mean, yeah, and it's armor 12. I mean, that's hard. Like, you can't just shrug at armor 12 and make it go away like you can with a rhino sometimes. So,
yeah,
I mean,
you have to commit something powerful to it.
Yeah, you can't just charge a drop pod with 10 Marines and blow it up willy-nilly. You might not do anything to it. So, I mean, that's a really good point, Mark.
No, this is a good question. Hopefully we address that, and we talk about that kind of stuff a lot on the podcast too, because Blood Angels are something we're all stupid in love with. Lamont is asking, what are some things to be done for tournaments, or how do you prep for tournaments if you can't playtest for them? Like if you just don't have the ability to playtest. And by the way, I got a list I'm brewing up for you too. So thanks for sending me that figure information. But I'll throw that out to you guys. If you don't have the ability to playtest for the tournament, how do you prepare?
One of the things I like to do is I like to figure out what the enemy's going to use. And then I'll actually, in my head, as I'm jogging, wandering around, whatever, or even on paper, move the figs, move little marks on paper saying, okay, this is what this goes, this is what this goes, roll some dice if you feel like, but just go straight odds. 50%, unlike Kenny, who never fails a 3+. And that gives you at least you're thinking about these armies you're going to see, so you're not in total shock when you run into them.
I think the Germans did that in World War II. They pushed the little things around the table like you're talking about.
They had about 2 or 3 good years before it went bad.
No, that's a really good point. I do that all the time, Theory Hammer. When you're just all the minutes in the day, like one of the things I say on my channel all the time is like the only thing I do more than paint models is fantasizing about the next time I'm going to play with my models.
Which is like playing the army builder game.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time. It's like you got to have folks to chit chat about. Just get to live in the meta. You got to breathe it. You just got to soak it in, and that way, and like to Mark's point, prepare for every situation. You know that if you're playing this, you've thought about the odds. It's like the odds. I need to shoot 97 last cannons at this thing for it to do anything. So I might as well not even try. What's the mission? What do I need to do to win the mission? Kind of thing.
That's true, man. Sometimes, and here's probably the best piece of advice: listen to our podcast. Comes out every Sunday. That's what you do if you don't have a way to play test.
Oh, except today. It came out today on Monday. I had it uploaded, but then I forgot to publish the post.
So I reserve the right to backpedal at any point.
Yep. Every Sunday except today.
Sometimes it comes out on Monday. I don't know.
It happens. There's cogs in the machine.
Players mess up sometimes, Yeah.
Lou's got a question. It's like, and then Rob, you might be the only one that can answer this. Any thoughts on the new Cities of Death tactical objectives that came with the White Dwarf? They seem to exchange taking objectives for taking buildings, and you need lots of terrain.
Yep.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
Take the take one of those what is it, the thing out of the escalation where you can actually like knock down buildings. It's like a 20-point upgrade that you can knock down buildings.
What?
Yeah, it's not. It's just for funsies. You can't do it in regular footy.
I literally have never done something not for funsies. So
No,
how do I get this?
Yeah, he's exactly right. Yeah, it's all about adding selling terrain and stuff. But I mean, you've all seen the tables. You know, they look great. All those buildings and stuff on there. It's awesome.
Line of sight's huge. I mean, blocking of line of sight, controlling lanes, figuring out lanes of fire, having lanes of fire is very big in this game right now.
Like that's you can play the same game 2 times in a row, one table with the appropriate terrain, one table with some slacker terrain, and have such different outcomes to the game. I mean, the game is just so much more dynamic when you have the appropriate amount of lines being created and obscurements and blocking line of sight terrain, as we call it. I mean, the one thing that GW did that I didn't agree with was, when they stopped making terrain abstract and made it like real true line of sight and get down to the model's eye view. After I got through the shock of that, I got into it, man. Like looking through windows, getting down with the model. I mean, that is where the game is at, and it just sucks if you're not able to participate in that part of the game. And if your local scene is falling behind on terrain, that's a perfect opportunity, a perfect segue for you to like put together a couple of people and volunteer and help them get their turn right.
I won't even talk about Tau and Eldar. I'll talk about Guard. Guard were so dominant turn of 4th edition, 5th edition, and stuff like that. Because there were no line of sight blocking terrain anywhere in any tournament. So he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit over here.
A lot of cover. It didn't matter.
Yep. I'm gonna sit over here and just murder your face because you cannot get away from me.
And then GW Studio, they're like, why is everyone winning with IG? They're pretty balanced because at their studio, if you see the tables they play on, there's a billion buildings and a couple of avenues here and a couple of channels here. And so you only can bear your entire army can only see a third of their army at one time, and if it moves, you lose half your firepower. So, I mean, that's what it should be. You shouldn't be able to stand still and kill people. You need to be able to move. You have to be able to move.
Yeah, and I think if you're running a tournament, you've got to be aware of that. And just understand that that's going to create some situations for people where they bring a list that should be ultimately competitive. I don't mean winning, and I don't mean dominant. I just mean competitive in the edition and to whatever your mission packet you designed. And then and then they get on these like open fields of shooting, or maybe even too much terrain on the other side of it. Maybe there are no zero lines of fire.
I'll tell you guys too. Up at Atomic Empire, where the seasonal is, there will be no shortage of a lot of side blocking terrain. They have a full, just a whole room full of line of sight blocking terrain, ludicrous piles of it. You will know that meta now going into the season. Like there will be LOS.
Lanes of fire. Oh man,
yeah.
And I saw some proofs of the trophies. We talked about them a little bit. Posted a sneak peek up on the Twitter. The trophies are going to be worth playing for. We got some awesome sponsors. We got Powered Play. We got Table War and Frontline Gaming, so the Fat Mats are going to be there.
I think Blood and Skulls is sending some stuff.
Blood and Skulls Industries is going to be represented there. Secret Weapon Mini is going to be represented as a sponsor.
Oh, speaking of which, I just got my Blood and Skulls in.
Sponsor. What about me?
Next Level Painting is going to be a sponsor. Next Level Painting is painting the trophies, so you will get a painted by Next Level Painting exclusive trophy at the
We also do the arm wrestling with the photograph sponsor.
Yes. Yep.
Yo, check out this hotness I just got in today. Got in some alternate Chimera kits. I don't know if you can see it there. It's like the back to a Chimera, but it's got those like the sweet little viewports right there. See it?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then there's a Dirk turret too. Where is it? I'm trying to upgrade my.
Who makes these? Makes these again?
This is Blood and Skulls. This is some of the stuff. I'm not exactly sure what they're sending us, but this is his kind of stuff. Here's a Chimera, the alternate turret. This kind of looks like you guys remember that Forge World Flame
that looks nice.
Hellhound. Forge World did a Hellhound like a while ago, and it had a turret just like this, and it was so cool. And
no, I really like that back viewport. I hate the little las gun arrays that just point random directions. That's lame. I like the riot slits. Like
because that's what they're gonna do.
Just shooting out.
I will say, I don't want to jinx it, but I believe we're going to have a couple of things that they're not going to be exclusive to us, but the unveiling will be one of the first people to unveil some things from some of these these sponsors, and I can't wait to mention it and get it on air and talk about it.
Heck yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real nice time, and some people are gonna walk away with some sweet prizes.
I love all these companies that come up with these great conversion parts and all this cool stuff for the hobby that really augments and makes your stuff look different. You know, it's all about like what we talk about on here. You know, bringing hobby back. Like
it shows you care about that. You care about what's going on. You care about your army. You care about you want to bring a fully painted. Maybe you're not the best painter, but you might be a good modeler. You know, maybe you're not a great modeler or a great painter, but you put your stuff together and it looks cool.
Yeah, if you bring hobby back, you will be represented, man.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Yep. So anyway, really looking forward to the season. I cannot thank our sponsors enough. Each and every one of them is contributing a little bit to making this event great for us, and then we turn around and get that to the players.
Yeah, good old Ben Hopper says when he plays orcs, he has to agree when he plays on a table with good terrain, the army is very strong. In an open table, I get murdered. That is the bane of our existence. That is right, Mark. I mean, how long have you been playing this game? You know, and you go to a tournament and you go to Planet Bowling Ball and you're like, this is going to be the worst game ever.
Wow, it's a desert. No one saw that coming.
Yeah. So did you run out of terrain, or
everything is difficult terrain and there's no cover? So it's a small desert.
That's the best. That's the best when it's covered and difficult terrain. So you're slower.
It's all a bunch of felt mats. You know.
Yeah.
I have a confession to make. I've been getting some texts. Some people have been hitting me up. There hasn't been enough Necron talk tonight, guys.
What's happening?
Yeah. Well, we got.
Is there anything new about Necrons besides they're a bunch of stupid robots that get back up in a normie constantly?
Take that back.
Now, I'm not giving news here or anything, but what do you guys? And this is brought up actually by Fallen Cypher when we were hanging out with him this past weekend. It's like the picture for not the Satan Shard formation out of the Mefrit Dynasty is the Transcendent Satan model.
Yes.
So what if that becomes the new type Satan Shard, and we get like a Nagash style model for the Transcendent Satan?
Wouldn't that be awesome, right? Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that. A lot of rumors out this just today, even like some of the different formations and things, and you know, it looks like formations are going to be a big part, because if you look at that Cryptek edition, it says it has 22 like little formation data cards, which you can see in the picture, you know, that come with it, that are going to apparently play a big part of the Necron book itself.
Yeah, I mean, it goes right in. The Codex is just collection of data slates now.
Yeah.
Until we see the rules, we really can't say. But I mean, I'm excited for anything new.
Yeah, you're a big Necron player. You were rocking Necrons hard too. I bet you're excited.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing to my beloved Stormlord, but.
Silly Stormlord. I hate that game.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
His rules were a little loose. I think his time has come, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's right. A little loosey goosey with those. My
Nurgle Demon Prince is coming flying across the table, and then he gets hit by some rando lightning bolt, falls to the ground in front of the whole army, and gets obliterated.
Yeah,
seems reasonable.
I feel like a Nerf bat's gonna beat me repeatedly over the head over this one.
I've lost so many mana cores to lightning bolts.
Yeah.
The Storm of Chaos or whatever, the demonic demon.
Well, it's like a better version. It's okay. So it's just like the Warp Storm table, except it only hurts the enemy all the time.
Yeah.
Like.
We had a good question here a couple minutes ago. It's like this dude plays Eldar and Marines, and he keeps losing to Hive Tyrants, flying Hive Tyrants.
That's a tough army.
I mean, we're living in the Hive Tyrant revolution right now. I mean, it's going to be a hard army to beat right now. The end. You know what I mean?
When you take 5-6 Tyrants, you know, but both those armies, Eldar and Marines, have some hard counters for them. Like a bunch of Storm Talons. I mean, if you come on after they're already on the table, you're going to put some wounds on them.
The thing about Eldar is the Hive Tyrants got so much better with 7th edition, only having to pass one grounding check at the end of the phase, not the beginning. So they're hard to hit the whole time. And a Storm Talon works really well. That is a great counter. But man, like you were saying, you get 5 of these Hive Tyrants, and you do something smart like how Juice always has a Sky Shield landing pad and always has a Venom Thrope. So he's almost so basically he knows he has 3 or 2+ cover to start the game with and 4+ invulnerables. So he negates the Alpha Strike, He comes in hot with 5 of these guys, and you're talking like it's like 100 Twin Link Strength 6 shots. I mean, it's going to be a little unstable right now while this list exists until we can figure out, like, mission structure, what it fails at. There is one balance. They have to land to score objectives. So progressive objectives like the People's Mission Packet has are going to be a current way to mitigate that, because he has to land 3 of them, and if you have the tools to kill 3 of them on the ground right now, that can be helpful. So I mean, there are balances.
I think Storm Talon's obviously my pick for the Marines. I'd consider double catting, or that formation that takes a bunch of them or can take a bunch of them.
Yeah, you take the one where you take the Tyrannic War Vets or whatever, and then you take the chaplain, then you take the Super Chaplain, and then you can get all those Storm Talons that start the table, start on turn 1.
I mean, just playing with those. I mean, if you wanted to go branch out, you could. The Tau Fire Cadre is a really good formation to take against High Tyrants.
Well, the Dream Crusher works really good right out the gate. I
3
mean,
Storm Talons. I'm sorry, Storm Ravens. Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, no, it's not too bad, but it's also not too good. I mean,
if you load out specifically for that, maybe with assault cannons and but I'm not sure that you'd want to do that in a tournament.
The whole other part of the Dream Crusher formation, unfortunately, doesn't really interact. The Deep Strike and the Terminators in on turn 2.
So what's y'all's thought on this? So if you're shooting at a flying monstrous creature and you cause it to take a grounding check, do you then skip it and go on to the next one, or do you keep pounding on it? I mean, I know, like, if you've only done 1 wound, let's say it's a 4-wound creature and you've only done 1 wound, what's your plan? And you have more shooting. What's your plan?
Causing grounding checks on them to fall. The plan only works the way you're saying it is if you have some follow-up phase to deal with them in assault. It doesn't matter if 3 of them fail their grounding checks if you have no way to punish them in the assault phase.
Okay, fair enough. Assuming that you have something else, you could do something else. Either you got like a bolt. Let's say you got bolter Marines in front of them that you could fire at them.
Well, you can't though. Like, it's at the end of the phase.
No, I'm saying after you cause them to get a grounding check, do you then fire at something else? Do you continue to fire at them? Like, what's your thoughts on all that stuff?
If you have no way to punish them in the assault phase, continue to shoot that one until you kill it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with continue to shoot. It's not like Wave Serpents where you just try to get them jink.
Try to get them jink and move on. I agree with that.
Continue to shoot.
Yeah, you got to. If you get first turn, you can get some string 10 on them and maybe try to double them out or something. That's really good too. But
you got to distort with Wraith Knights. Get that distort.
Yeah, all that's good options. But I mean, dude, they're just a tough nut to crack, man. Really.
Yeah, it's rough.
I mean, it's really hard to match up against them. They're so good at outplaying you with whatever you want to do. But that's what we talk about mission design. The People's Mission Packet has a lot of tools to fight them. I mean, like, we have tertiaries in there that matter for killing psychers. They're all psychers. We have progressive objectives and monster creatures to land for those, man. I mean, there's like a million things, a million ways around it. So as long as you build an army that can fight in more than one way, you can beat those Tyranids as long as you're playing in a balanced mission format.
Yeah, it's some kind of balanced mission where it rewards you for playing the game. I completely agree.
Yes, if it rewards you for engaging your opponent, you can win.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and Lou brings up a good point. Mortis Dreadnoughts and Sakarans are also pretty good at dealing with how
anything with that targeting array, like the whatchamajiggers, the Contemptors.
Yeah, the Contemptor Dreadnought. Well, there's the Mortis Dreadnought too. Just the one like we did the team tournament last year. It's better points now than the Contemptor, and gets the same rule. It's less defensive though. It's easier to kill.
It's just an Armor 12 Dreadnought that has Skyfire intercept, so it's really good. I love it. I mean, You're right. That's a great point, Lou. Thank you for reminding us about the Sicarian. Those things are. I watched a game over here the other day. Good old Horton. The second place winner of the first seasonal.
The bridesmaid.
The bridesmaid. He comes in and play, and he's bringing the heat guys. He's playtesting 30K missions, 30K armies, in the People's Missions at the Battle Bunker here, trying to decide if he wants to bring Angron and a bunch of World Eaters with Sicarians backing it up.
Angron's legit, man. Angron is.
I watched those Sicarians tear through 2 Nurgle Demon Princes in a game.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I mean, and then I watched Angron just crush it. So I mean, he's bringing some pretty cool stuff. So I mean, remember, 30K is a thing. Play it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like there are some obvious gaps between, or differences. I don't want to say gaps, but differences between Marines in the 30K and Marines in the 40K. But the 30K's got some cool toys, and they have Primarchs. So there is that.
Yo, before we forget, Jack West wants to know if a command barge, Catacomb command barge, can sweep attack at flying MC. And as far as we know, all such things that are called sweep attacks hit things in the air.
I think they FAQ'd it in Adepticon to say you can't, though.
Said you cannot?
Is
that the rulebook fact, or is that in the Codex fact?
I mean, rules is written, you can. You absolutely can. You can even get zooming flyers. Rules is written. But in the Adepticon FAQ, I think they said no.
That would be in the rulebook FAQ. So yeah.
Yeah. So then, for the seasonal, you probably can, and for like the actual rules, you probably can.
Yeah. So So just take a look at the Adepticon FAQ. If it's worded that way, then we are wording it the same way. So that's all. That's the best I can do. But I mean, I've played many tournaments where yes, they did sweep attack my flying MCs.
Ultrator's saying just take 2 Fire Raptors with a Scarab, and then you can kill every single hive tyrant you come up against.
There's some truth to that.
I have to believe that's true.
And then, fortunately, though, that's the whole thing that Juice was talking about. Though, the things that can kill those struggle with other missions. Now you have all these hardcore flyers and things that are not objective secure that can't do anything against a bunch of MSU things getting all over the objectives and hiding behind little tiny hills, you know?
Yep. But Fire Raptors are pretty good against other things too. I mean, like the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, going, man, I gotta go look at this model again.
I love a Fire Raptor. I love one. I don't like it compared. I like a Stormwolf more though. You know the.
Yep. Oh, Incognito Costume and Props saying we have some of the servo skulls that he made. He's specifically talking about what we were talking about earlier as being one of the winningest teams, or the winningest team in America. Championship of the
America.
Yeah.
America.
So,
I mean, we are also simultaneously becoming the most losingest team as far as defending our title.
So twice in a row is pretty good, and right. Last year was an off year for us.
We had a really good year a couple years ago where we won Adepticon, ATC, and won ATC back-to-back, and then Adepticon, and a couple of team events. And so we had a really good, 2011, 2012. So I feel you. I don't like tuning my own horn, but yeah, we are.
Yeah, I mean, that's the truth. I mean, yeah, you can only tone it back so much when it's the truth. But
personally, I feel like whenever you say America after something, it's like an excuse for saying something bad, or like
an excuse for being obnoxious.
Trying to draw attention away from something that maybe you can't.
I have a 32-ounce big gulp, and off camera you can't even see it. America.
That's right. But this year ATC is going to be awesome. I know they're busily right now. They're trying to finalize the rules for that event, and it's going to be great. It is put on by some of the best people you're ever going to encounter in this game. They also run the Dice Head web store.
So yeah, I hear they have a great mail order business.
They do have a great mail order business.
I order from them all the time.
I bought some stuff recently. I got the Conquest game from them. They stock complete lines of Fantasy Flight. And so, you know what? I wanted to scratch that itch. I got that 40K Conquest. I'm gonna play some card games.
Heck yeah! So I got the ruling here. According to the Adepticon FAQ, the Catacomb Command Barge's sweep attack special rule has no effect on zooming flyers and swooping flying monsters creatures. Sorry, guys.
There it is. Let it be written.
That is a fact. Yeah.
Sorry, brah.
Unless it says in the new book, who knows? There's always hope, right?
Yeah, that sweep attack hits rear armor.
Oh, it does.
Right? Yeah.
Side.
Side armor.
Side.
Oh, side armor.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, but you can fly 12 inches over somebody, sweep them, and then get out and charge them, or 6 inches over, right, or whatever it is.
You have to do it on your turbo.
Oh, is that what it is? I always forget. All I know is people sweep all over me and kill everything with it, and I'm just like, yep, that seems right.
That choosing to take wounds on the rider or the chariot is pretty strong.
That's kind of what needs to go.
I honestly don't think they're going to get rid of that because that's
because it's actually in the main rulebook.
That's specific wordage in the 7th edition book.
So you're firing battle cannons. Let's say you're just firing battle cannons at them. Like, I'm just going to take all these on my...
Might as well be shooting cannonball.
My 2-up armor save guy who's toughness 5. He doesn't care about these.
Yep. Nah. Could not care less about your battle cannons.
I literally could not care less about these stupid battle cannons.
Yep.
By all means, continue to shoot them at this thing.
And as Christopher Morgan brought it up, mind shackles. Yeah, they're kind of ridiculous.
God,
too.
I hate those.
Mind shackles, I would not expect them to remain the same. I think they're going to be there because they're Necron players' favorites, but I don't think they're going to be the same.
I'll tell you, the only time I roll under 2s and 3s is when I'm rolling for mind shackle leaderships.
Coach is asking, what do we think is going to happen with Tesla? And I think we've seen kind of a preview of that.
Shock is what we've seen in the Space Wolf Codex.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we'll get it where you won't get any snapshot 6s.
It says all 6s give you 2 additional. This cannot be used while snap firing.
So frustrating.
And it's even called shock. And Tesla is kind of like electricity. So it seems like that's what the rule's going to be. It's still going to do the same thing it does now, except you're not going to be able to do the all-time jink. Like when you jink, you get 0.3 less hits. Like get out of here.
Yeah, okay, here's a good question from Fallen Cypher. What about the Satan electric slide on flyers?
Oh, we're checking it out. Oh man, I'm gonna play.
That'll probably be in the Codex fact, and so that's probably something you might encounter in the seasonal.
While Rob's looking that up, I'm gonna tell everyone I'm gonna be at another local tournament here in the Raleigh-Durham area down at Event Horizon at the end of the month. A lot of my local people who are gonna be at the seasonal, are probably gonna be there, and I'll be there. Juice might be there. We'll be there talking about the seasonal, hyping it up to the local scene. So don't hesitate to come out there too to get some more information in person.
That's awesome, man. Lamont brought up a really cool bit of news. Is that it looks like the Blood Angel Codex is available in Army Builder now.
Yeah.
It's also available in Battlescribe. So now you got it in the 2.
Been available on Battlescribe.
Yeah, get that high score. Oh my goodness, I sent y'all this message, but I unlocked the secret to Battlescribe.
I can't wait
to cut out all like the crap that makes it annoying to post. Find out how to turn all that off.
You have to do a YouTube walkthrough on it.
I could, man. I got a whole army down to a single page with Battlescribe.
You mean it doesn't have every guy's rules for what a bolter is individually?
No, you can turn all of that off. I'll show you how tomorrow.
5 Tactical Marines with 5 bolters. Bolter is. Oh my gosh.
We get, but because I was anyway, some things that gonna post some more lists coming up pretty soon. But so I wanted to make it more user friendly or more viewer friendly, and I figured out it's in there right now. You can go through the settings and turn it off. I will show you how.
Oh yeah, very happy about that. You got the rule for us, Rob?
I got nothing. There's no reference to it.
There it is. Let your slide all over a flyer. Got it.
It might just all over. It might be in the is there an escalation section? I don't know because
there's a stronghold assault, but not an escalation.
There you go.
Have you guys are they doing anything to Scarabs? Any word on them?
As far as the new rulebook or the FAQ?
New rulebook?
Yeah. Any?
You're talking about you in rumor territory? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I'm asking a rumor territory.
I haven't read anything on them. It's really weird because like the rumors aren't as hot as heavy as they usually are. Usually we're getting a ton of stuff this close, but nothing yet. All we're getting is like some vague formation stuff, and then a lot of signs pointing to Harlequins right afterwards. Like this is it. This is the only release. It's just this like 6 items that are coming out. So
I'm really looking forward to the Harlequins. Just see, even if it's like remotely playable as like a 2-squad CAD, I'd love to get them on the table again.
Oh, yeah, like really, the Inquisition book, something like that.
Mm-hmm. I gotta know. I got a client waiting on this rule book to drop so we can figure out what his order is gonna be.
For the Necrons or Harlequins?
Necrons.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on the. The electric side. I will get back to you, Fallen Cypher.
Cool, we'll check that out. Well, guys, we're at the end of our hour. It has been a quick one, it seems.
Oh yeah. Whenever we talk about doing things all over things' faces, it usually goes back pretty quick.
So I got a quick announcement to make. Kenny just launched his channel here recently. on YouTube. I also got a new forum going, a hobby related forum, but it's mostly just rumors right now because that's what's in vogue. Over on forum.spikybits.com, and we're actually doing a bunch of giveaways. So I think this week it's a new Forge World rulebook, and I got something very special. It's going to be hopefully the big giveaway next week. So make sure you get over there and get registered, because I know we're going to do some stuff with Kenny on there too for some of his giveaways and stuff.
I registered, and I'm in the giveaway.
That's true. This week's theme is you got to post up your favorite line from Gladiator.
Oh, nice.
If I could figure out how to log into Facebook, I'll do this.
Just post it to your wall.
Just post it to your wall, Doug.
Well, guys, thank you guys for joining me and being part of the show. Everybody that asked questions early or viewing tonight, thank you all for being here real time. If you're watching this in the replay, post some comments, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. I don't know where it's going to be, but figure it out. And thank you all very much for viewing it. I hope we do kill some hobby time for folks, bringing that hobby back and that competitive spirit. It's going to be a good 2015 for gaming in general. Hope you all feel the same way.
I do feel the same way.
I'm very excited about this year.
All right, good night, everybody.
Night.
Later.